one of the biggest shocks was when you turned up on AEW at Double or Nothing to sort of present the title that was going to be won later on that year. You've been kind of back with WWE since 2006, doing different things. What led to you doing the AEW? Does that change your stance on where you are with WWE? Inquiring minds want to know.
Well, I hope not. I have my own. I don't work for WWE. I work for myself, and they don't own me. I don't have a contract with them. I have a Legends deal, but it's only on a merchandise agreement. So I mean, they can make T-shirts and things like that of me, and I'm happy with my relationship with WWE. I remember maybe 2010, when I came back and was wrestling Vince. I had a meeting, not a meeting, but I sat with Vince and Triple H in the room. I said, I would love to work with you guys. I'd be happy to kind of get back into have some involvement with the wrestling business today. I said, I always had, like, if you watch all my matches, I can pretty much tell you almost from the start of my career in WWE, right to the very end, Vince tells you who wins and who loses, but the endings of the matches are between the wrestlers most of the time. I mean, they might come in and tell me, oh, you're winning with a sharpshooter, and then I'm winning with a sharpshooter, so I don't have much say in that. But a lot of times when you see the match unfold, at least my matches, those are Bret Hart matches, including the WrestleMania 13, including the Iron Man match, including there's a few matches where I'll give credit to the guy that I worked with, like Roddy Piper. I give him most of the credit for the match I had with him. Being Mr. Perfect was like a 50-50. Most of my matches with Undertaker were a 50-50. But my matches that I had with Owen, with Davey, those are all Bret Hart matches. That's me figuring out the whole match from A to Z. And I was always really good at, in fact, when I won the title with Vince, I can remember, for example, at Wembley Stadium, I remember telling Vince, I said, you want to hear the ending? And he goes, I don't want to hear it. I just want to see it. And I had carte blanche I had total control on my endings of my matches, which is why I think my matches were so good. And maybe that's why WWE's having the problem they are, is they have all these idiots telling people how to wrestle when they don't know how to wrestle themselves. And Bruce Pritchard too, he doesn't know Yeah, I meet all these guys. I meet so many of these guys, from Vince Russo, Bruce Pritchard is another one, Jim Cornette is another one. They all take credit they were all involved in the screw job. They all had a hand in it. They all were part of it. And it's such bullshit. When I watch stuff, I go, Eric Bischoff didn't have anything to do with what happened that day. And Vince Russo doesn't know anything about what happened that day. He was like nobody. He had zero involvement in what I was doing with Vince and had no idea what my contract was. I don't think Vince Russo even knew what my issues were with the company. And same with so many of the guys that they have people that they want to be involved, like Vince Russo and Bruce Pritchard wish they were part of the screw job and that they could have been involved in that and that they could have had a say, and like, yeah, screw them, they wish they could say that, but they had zero to do with it. Today they want to take credit for it, like that they were involved in it. Like, to me, it's like taking credit for being part of an assassination or something. It's like, I don't know why you'd want to throw your hat in the ring and say I was part of it, but they all seem to want to, convince themselves that they are that important. But I don't think they were. I know Jim Cornette, who's always been nice to me and a good friend to me, but he had zero to do with anything that happened with me in WWF. And for him to think that he had some kind of stake in it, or he was one of the guys that put what happened down, like what happened to me was part of his, he had some say in it, is just hogwash. They had nothing to do with anything to do with me, period. And,
So with AEW, you showed up at Double or Nothing. What led to you showing up there? Are we going to see you in AEW again? Like, what's the story behind that?
Oh yeah, that question. I'm sorry, I get off on tangents, but AEW, you know, I don't really follow that much wrestling like I used to. And like I said, when I offered my services to Vince and Triple H in 2010, and it was in Toronto, I said, I'd be happy to work with you guys on matches and storylines and help you with the, you know, I got lots of ideas. And basically it was like, they said they call me, and they never called me ever on it. They kind of, I think it was like they waited for me to hear me say like, hey, Bret Hart might actually want to come back. And it's like, so they just purposely never brought me back and kind of just left me on the sidelines, which is fine. I don't know that I miss it that much, but it was more of an offering. And what happened with AEW was I didn't really know much about AEW, but I have a lot of respect for Chris Jericho and a lot of the guys that are there. And I was actually going to Las Vegas for just a personal appearance, and I was doing a signing there. And then they called me and asked me if I would show up at the AEW show, and I didn't even know what it was. And they were gonna, basically it was like, if you walk across the street from your hotel and just walk into the building and walk out to the ring and hold the belt up, you know, we'll pay you X amount of money to do that. And I'm in Vegas anyway. So it wasn't really an intended slight to anybody. It was just a chance to work with a new wrestling company and maybe give them a little boost with my name if I can, and be part of me, maybe meet some new wrestlers and some new guys. And that was pretty innocent, but I will say that I very much enjoyed working with them, and I wish them all the best. I think they're so important to wrestling today. I think AEW has got a way better approach right now. I think when I watch Raw today, there's just so many promos, and all written by the same guy in the back that's writing out a bunch of stuff. It all sounds the same. I know Steve Austin said that for years, but it's true. It sounds the same, looks the same, tastes the same. I'm so sick of it. Whenever I see somebody stand in the ring doing a promo, I just click channels right away. I can't watch it. The wrestlers are great. The wrestling is great, but I don't know where they can go with wrestling today. It's all, it's so unbelievable.